Good evening. How's everybody doing? Thursday. I know it's been a while. We haven't been on since the blizzard with John Zaffis, which was fun. That wasn't even planned. That was sort of a last minute thing because we were planning on coming on and we were going to do it anyway. And next thing I know, I get a message from him early. Hey, Brian. Hey, everyone. How are you, Kathy, Luann, Heather? Hey. How's it going? But yeah, that we were just going to come on and talk, and then John messaged early like, hey, if you're going on tonight, I'll join you. And we were like, yeah, cool. Hey, Wendy, how are you? What's up, Brian? Doris, how are you? So that was a fun conversation. Hey, Anna, how are you? I'm waiting for the princess here. See if she's going to sit down. She looks to make an entrance. Got to give her a minute. Yeah.
Howdy.
Hey, Nicole. Hey, Lisa. Yeah, that was fun. We again not knowing that he was even going to be on, and then he joined us, and there was a lot of interesting discussions going on there. I love it when I put him on the spot. Hey, Celine, and hey, Laura. And I was like, hey, tell us now why you're still here. If you were to pass and someone were to sell that haunted collection of yours, would you be upset about that? And he was like, that's the thing, man. You make it comparable to I love my favorite shows are besides for like Game of Thrones and all that kind of stuff. My favorite reality shows are, I love American Pickers, and Pawn Stars I like a lot. But American Pickers is similar to the idea of most of those shows are about the father or the grandfather of the people calling the American Pickers, and they've accumulated
and their kids don't want it, or family members don't want it.
But some of the stuff is cool cars and cool antiques and stuff that was from the 20s.
And they don't just have a garage; they've got building after building after storage.
And the kids
storage.
This was his thing. This is not my thing, and we just want to, sell some of it off. And again, haunted objects are kind of along that line for people like John and others.
But what's the cool thing about all of that? And that's when years and years ago when that first came out, I started watching. I'm a nut job when it comes to like the history, like the towns and like, not like really in depth and going crazy, but I like that. It just brings me back to my grandparents' day and like that,
Yeah.
and my great grandmother and grandfather when we first met them when we were really little. It's nostalgic. It just gives you that connection. Like, you're not just here in the moment now. You had a connection from before when things were different. And it's almost like when you walk into an antique store and you come across something, go, oh my God, I remember that was in my grandparents' house. Oh, my grandmother used that for cooking. Oh, my grandfather used that for doing woodwork and stuff. It's like, it's cool.
Well,
it's a connection.
Not really where I was going, but
I know, but I love it. I love it.
Wherever you were going with that, I was just
I went
talking
off.
about how.
But a lot of it's all connected. The historical.
I'm not even talking about that either. I'm talking about. Let me steer the boat, please.
Yeah, I know you don't like it when I speak.
No, it ain't like it because you're taking it in a totally different direction.
Well, I don't know the direction you're going.
I was doing the comparison. Just listen for a minute.
Yeah, all listen. Right?
I was doing the comparison between the people on American Pickers. The stuff mattered to them. It didn't matter to the people who were selling it. They were just looking. And in the case of,
nostalgic,
let's say, John Zaffis. No, again, I'm not saying that either. I'm saying in the case of John Zaffis, he spent a lifetime getting those objects from cases, people sending them to him. They mean something completely different to him than they do to, say, Cheryl, his wife, or others.
He knows the background, the stories, he could tell you. You can ask him something, and he'll go right into total detail.
But even beyond that, once he is no longer involved,
yeah,
someone may look at that and go, "Hey, how much? $300,000 for all of that? I don't know what I'm going to do with that." Yeah, take it. And a lifetime's worth of work for John could be gone for an hour or whatever, 2 hours.
Split up, gone, not in the family anymore. Like you spend your whole life collecting something, and we see it all the time. You go in and you see these antique stores or these estate things where they just have all of these, like somebody spent their whole entire life collecting those, I see them, precious moments. And yet, nobody cares about them now. But they were a big thing during their time. I'm just saying. And then somebody comes and they're gone. Listen, I'll go back and sit over there.
I try to make a.
You do.
I try to set a narrative around the subject and
do you hear what I'm
related
saying?
To the paranormal, and you're talking about Mom, Pa.
But that does go back to the paranormal because that's when the energy of something gets connected and stirred, because it is that energy, that synergy that happens with the item. So you're like them biscuits.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to connect that to your version.
Nobody wants my spoon collection. I don't know. There's a band out there that does, Brian.
I don't even know what that means. But
you never played spoon? You never seen anybody play the spoons?
I have, but
okay, that's
on TV, and probably from areas where you're from, but I've never really
I've seen
any of that around these parts.
What can I say?
But anyway, it was fun having John on and being able to talk about all that. And then we announced the event, and it's selling really well, as I knew it would. Not a whole ton of spaces left for that one, but there are still spaces available if you want tickets to that. It's so funny how that played out too, because even when I was creating the poster for it, which again I love, AI is the best thing in the world to happen to people like me who have no graphic abilities whatsoever. 6'6", 26 just looks so perfect along the top of that. And everybody who knows the type of weather that John usually brings with him to our events and the weird things that happen.
What did he say? The only thing that hasn't happened is a tsunami?
I think you said that.
Yeah, I said that. What did he say that hasn't happened?
Earthquake.
Yeah. There you go.
But it seems so fitting that would be kind of the subject of the event would be 6'6", 26 with John there. and the haunted objects and all that
Skirting
stuff
trouble.
is going to be, it's going to be different. I'm looking forward to it. You know, it's always a good time when John is with us on events, and you know he comes on for he. You know, the thing about John that a lot of people even here when they're watching, they say the same things. Whatever is just like a throwaway to him or just so mundane because it's just like a memory from when he was whatever 20 or 30 or 15 with Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah.
He doesn't realize that that's like the most interesting stuff there is to people out there in the paranormal community, because most people in the paranormal community, especially nowadays,
not exposed,
they're not going into homes and trying to, you know, rid people of exorcisms and all that stuff. It's just not really happening with the people that are out and on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok and all that, you know, and they were out there. That's what they were doing back then. They weren't, there was no TV. They were out there just trying to help people with problems, you know. But that's why I asked them the question about Ed, because everything that I ever saw about Ed, whether it was in a book, an interview, TV, whatever, and any case, demonic, and he's a devout Catholic. Yeah. So of course everything's going to be demonic when you're a devout Catholic.
And they found out that there's a softer side to that too.
Not softer side, but that were other stories.
Yeah.
That just didn't make it.
And that's because they wasn't sensational enough.
Yeah.
For the public, because we all like the.
It was cool to find that out, though. I mean, that's what makes it.
I like the softer side stuff. I don't need the demonic.
Well, I'm not even talking about soft. I'm just saying that there's more to it. I really, in my head, thought everything they did was just demonic. Like everything I ever saw.
But that's what was
Ed jumped right to demonic, and I'm like, there are types of spirits out there, but demonic, you know. But anyway, there are. That was cool. But yeah, that event doesn't have a whole lot left, but there's still tickets if you guys want to get in on that. June 6th at Camp Evans, Wall Township. Great building. You never know what can happen in that. That's another one of those buildings where you roll the dice. We had
and
another.
With having him there too, just adds right to it.
Yeah, I said that before. But,
I know.
Yeah. We had another thing come up where the John Inskeep event that we were doing, we get so many requests for that building, the May 23rd event that we were doing. And that event, like some of the places that we were at, you know, the people that are part of Historic Society or in the township will complain because the events sell out quick and they didn't get a chance to have tickets. So we made an offer to them we'll throw in another date and you guys promote it. We won't mention it. Leave it open to whatever people that are emailing you guys and saying that they can't get into our events. You put it out there. We'll leave it out there. And when you tell us it's time for us to announce it, we'll do that if we have to. And that was March 14th, an event that we weren't planning on doing. So this event sat out there for a good 4 days, and it sold a decent amount. I mean, it wasn't the usual, you know, bang zoom for the Inskeep building. And for that, I did go back to people that missed out on the 23rd date, and I asked them if they wanted to come, and we filled that event, which is why it was never even advertised as being out there. But again, we try to accommodate, you know, if we can, but adding the in-between dates isn't really something we want to do. You know, we're still, you know, we're enjoying this month hiatus in between. We did 2 weeks in a row, and then we took a month off. It's pretty, I kind of like that schedule.
Kind of, we're both trying to recover from stuff that we're dealing with.
Right. So. Well, she's having health issues, so you know, we're trying to manage that. So it's going to be kind of tricky and again, we start up next.
It's going to be really.
It's going to be 64 degrees supposedly when we do the next event. A week from
Beautiful.
tomorrow. Today's Friday, right?
Wow.
No, today's Thursday. So I mean, I'm loving that, man. I've been in basements for the last since December. And you guys
The
are up in the heat,
cold in the
and the
Burlington
Burlington
prison.
prison is hot. The first floor and the second floor are hot, warm and hot. The basement is not. It's kind of chilly down there, and I spent a good 10 hours down there over 2 weekends. And yeah, and then when we went to the Hoover, I was in that damn basement for 2 nights in a row. So
You were.
yeah, I don't mind being in.
You know, it was so funny because
Decent.
at Burlington prison, you hit that first floor, and yeah, it was cool because when the door would open and close, but once that stopped, then the heat with the radiators that really stayed warm. We went to that second floor. I mean, you got down, it was like 12 below, and it was hot. But where
outside.
it was 12 below.
Outside.
It was 12 below.
So I would say to people as they were on the first floor, I would say, you feel how warm it is? And I'm like, yeah, we can take off our jackets or whatever. I said, follow me. I'd say right about here when you hit the steps and you take one step, and they're like, oh yeah,
cold.
Oh, you feel that? I said, well,
yeah, that's where you were the whole night. And it was so funny because here you were the whole entire event, and everybody that was down there with you, jackets. And you got all the way up to the second floor in those jackets stuff. You started sweating up on that.
Well, you know what's cool about that is my equipment drained like there was no tomorrow.
It was
especially during the second event.
It was a weird
The second
night.
weekend, everything drained on me. Everything. XLS camera, everything just went. Everything I tried to use just drained, which was cool. But
we never announced the second date, the 14th at the Innscape. He just went back. He just it was for the Innscape people themselves, and then when slots were left over, John went through the people who had requested for the 23rd. I didn't make it. And he's way down the list. Yeah.
So I do plan on. I'm hoping the parking isn't crazy, but I do plan on going to the Creeper tomorrow. And again, I'm sure you're not up for that, but I do plan on going to. I was going to go tonight, but I was a little tired, so I am planning on going tomorrow. And I'm sure with the weather being a little warmer, that there's probably going to be a lot of cars in the bars and
hopefully they'll have the snow removed. Because last time after the snowstorm, there was
those businesses, those bars.
I hope so.
She's wishing stuff on me.
No,
but
we dealt with that last time.
I do plan on going tomorrow.
Yeah,
because
there's no way I can do that.
There's some stuff there, new stuff. I saw Donna posting. The twin dolls are there that when we did the event. Huh?
They good?
I don't know what the story is. Remember, I just saw them in the case when we did the event there. You know the one I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I don't think they were bad.
I don't know, but we've also given Donna 3 dates for events at the gallery, like we did the Ghost of Christmas Past. We're doing that again in December, but there's going to be 2 additional dates. I think summertime we're going to be doing gallery.
That would be nice.
Dates at her home again. Yeah. Deb's did it right when mine did it. That was what's funny too. Deb, who's on right now, has an SLS camera too. So I'm like, Deb, you got your SLS? Turn it on, because I had one in a room set up, just monitoring what happened in the specific room. That shut off, and I asked Deb, you got yours? Turn it on. Let's use it over here. She turned it on. She's like, mine's dying. So I said, I'll get my other one out of the room that's adjacent to us. I picked it up and I showed it to her, dying all at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. That was pretty damn cool. I love when that stuff happens. It's not great when you want to use your equipment, but it's interesting that.
What did it?
Yeah, there's no coincidence that's zapping everything like that. But like I said, haven't been to Creeper in a few weeks. It'll be cool to get there and see the new stuff. I mean, there's stuff that I wait for Chris to come in and do, like, when it comes to like the mirrors of some 1920, what are they called? Folly. What were they called?
Craig's Follies.
Yeah.
They're amazing. Starlights and like, I know, you have no imagination, man.
They have imagination.
Those were fun
times. I can't relate to those women. What am I going to talk to them about?
I would love to have said, oh, please. those women were live and flesh in front of you, you wouldn't have a problem.
Whatever. But
not in the least.
But anyway,
stunning women.
I prefer to look for the other stuff. That sounds like fun. Yeah, for me. And that's another fun thing that John, we were talking about with John. You know, I was glad, and Donna and I were texting back and forth on Monday or Tuesday after the snowstorm, and I said, "Hey, did you see John give me credit about working with his objects and the things that I got out of them?" And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, hey, Tanisha, about time, man." I said, because we first did it with Donna's stuff, of course. I actually posted the cable access show that started the whole haunted object thing for us. And back in those days, that was before COVID. We weren't doing this yet. We had the cable access show, which was really fun. We talk about that all the time. We had so much fun doing that. But I had to come up with an idea for a weekly show. Every week, you did. I needed a subject or a guest and have them come to Woodbridge to film during the week.
And it was a straight through shoot. It wasn't where you made a mistake, you stopped. That what was like 27 minutes or whatever.
Yeah,
it was nonstop. Like,
hey, there he is. What's up, Bob?
You just
I know you call me Bob. I'll call you after this. But I had to come up with an idea every week of who we were going to have on. And that's what kind of got started with this whole thing, who we were going to interview about what subject and what. And, you know, again, it's hard every week to come up with a new subject and a new guest. You know, when you're doing all that yourself, lining that up and no one's really helping with that, it really makes it tough. So I came up with the idea of this is before we went to the Creeper Gallery of, you know, haunted objects, because I won't mention any names because I really don't know the person's name, but I would see on a social media site, I don't even want to say which one, this person was selling dolls that they were vessels for spirits. And they were charging $200, $300, $400. And I'm like, and they were all like the same kind of doll, but like with different color hair and different dresses. And I'm like, this is total crap. So, you know, I said to Chris, I'm like, I'm going to order like 4 or 5 different dolls from like different social media platforms or websites that sell haunted objects. And we're going to investigate them. And we never did that before. We never tried. And then I'm going to have Jane Doherty come in and handle them. Or we're going to film
cold reading where she had no idea.
We filmed the investigation part at the Barron Arts Center. And then Jane did the cold reading on set with the two of us. Never, ever did we even try to investigate a object before. What you see on that show is the first time the two of us sat down and put equipment around anything and did EVPs and Ovilus and whatever else and try to connect with. And that was 8 years ago. I mean,
and that's where he was hooked ever since.
Oh, I loved it. And the best thing was, again, I went back and watched it, and the one clown doll said, "Johnny."
How about the bigger one with
the fire, the one that was on fire?
But it also made your car smell like smoke. You had to put it in the
burnt
trunk.
Angel.
And here was the funny part. John and I, because I didn't want none of the haunted stuff in, whatever, we put them in the trunk of the car to go somewhere. And we're going down the road and the trunk goes flying open. And no issues with the trunk. Never happened.
That was funny.
Since before or since then, it was like the weirdest thing. It was just like it was definitely an eye opener, and that's when we really started going down deep dive on.
But that was funny. We did
that show. Your relationship with Donna.
Well, again, I set it up, so
you did.
Let me tell you the story.
I don't take credit for your stuff.
Well, you're telling it wrong. So I have to.
Of course I do.
Right
I tell it wrong.
You were witness to it. But
I know. I was witness to the greatness. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Sir John.
So anyway, after I came up with the idea for the haunted object show, and we did that, and to have Jane in and do the cold readings, then then
Thanks,
one of
Andy.
the ideas for another show was I read an article, and we talked about this with Donna. Yep. I read an article that said Zach Baggins bought out this entire store in New Hope, Pennsylvania for his museum. And I'm like, really? And I watched Ghost Adventures. And I contacted this woman, Donna, never met before. And we talked for like an hour, hit it off right away.
They did a mind meld, those two.
And it was really to go up there and only interview her about why Zach Baggins cleaned out her store. And she mentioned the little case, one case that she had right next to the register that had haunted objects.
It was right behind you. I filmed you guys when that happened. That was the funniest part. You guys heard that sound. I know.
Fast forward button.
That's what I do. I gotta get one of those.
Fast forward button.
I need that.
So again, to tell you how it happened.
Yes, please do.
Yes, I will.
Because I was there.
Yes, you were. You were. I'll give you credit for that.
And I filmed it.
I'll give you credit for that too.
Yeah. And I'm the one that told them what happened. Because it was behind you.
I'm sorry. Why were we in that building again?
Because of you.
Whose idea?
100%.
Whose idea?
Listen, Aura John. 100%.
So if I build the UFO and we travel into space and you film me piloting the UFO out in outer space, how is that?
You build it, I stage it.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're there, and the whole idea is to interview Donna about why Zach was there. And then we get into this subject of the building's haunted. Okay, didn't know that.
No.
The spirit of a little girl who's supposedly died in a fire. Okay, kind of cool. Then we get in the subject of the case that she has with objects. And as she's talking about, why can't I think of the ghost, the spirit's name?
Starts with an M.
I can't. How did I forget that?
It's an old one too, an old name.
Wow. Anybody know the spirit of
the Creeper Gallery, the little girl?
You guys remember?
If you mess with her toys, then there'd be a
you
price
guys
to pay.
Better than we do. But anyway, that's what we were talking about, and how Donna would come in if someone messed with those toys, and things would be off the wall and broken on the floor.
Madeline. Thank you, Luann.
And just as we're talking about that, the case that had the haunted objects in, there was a lock with a chain. It flipped over and was swinging. We got it on camera too.
Yeah.
Let's just show that episode again. So I asked Donna, again, this is the first time ever meeting her. We're hanging out with her, if we could investigate the shop and that some of the objects in that case. She literally handed me the keys to her shop, and we're like, come in. I'm not going to come here and drive down for
she
that.
Didn't have a red room yet.
And that was it.
Just the case.
Yeah, but that was it. She literally, we became friends, and she trusted me with keys to the shop.
No, that was amazing.
And that started the whole haunted object thing. We investigated the building first, in Madeline, and then we started with a few objects in that case, which at the time, there wasn't a lot in there, but man, there was some gruesome
from
stuff.
The murder and the voodoo
and had brain matter on it and blood.
Oh my
Remember that?
God, yes, and a candlestick that was used to kill somebody and hit over that. There was a lot of stuff that was just like really on the.
She had the best of the best. Whatever was in there, there was.
So funny that stuff excites you.
Oh,
wonder what you were in your past life.
That's what I started.
What do you guys think? A killer?
But
maybe
the one thing that she had, one of the things was wallpaper that was from a house. She showed us the newspaper article and where the thing was purchased from. A murder had taken place somewhere in PA, and it was the gypsy. Oh, that was the story.
Because of the boy, he would come over, and she kept, like
a boy,
a young man. But he would come over. He would need her to do his fortune, whatever, so that he could, and he depended on it. And then he came over, and she was in the midst, and she was like, no, and he was like, and he just and
he couldn't pay her anymore, and she was like,
and
okay,
she wouldn't read him anymore.
Then I won't do any more readings for you. So he
bludgeoned her,
brains out or whatever.
I think
I don't know what he did, but
it was a brutal murder.
There was blood and
everywhere.
matter on the wallpaper and stuff, and she got it.
She's got it.
She bought a piece of the wallpaper.
Like what?
That was awesome.
or the voodoo
underwear,
doll wrapped in
panties.
underwear
we're like,
with real teeth.
we're looking at these underwear and we're like,
No,
what is this and what's in there? And she's explaining to us how there was like human hair and all this other stuff or some voodoo smell that somebody did on somebody.
And it was like stuck up over and like above someone's roof.
That was like Jerry Maguire, man. I was like, you had me at hello, man. I'm coming in here.
The funniest thing, John thought it was driftwood that she had in her glass, and it turned out that it was a pig leg that was washed up. But yeah, pirate pig leg, whatever, that had washed up on shore, and it did. It looked like just a regular.
Well, that was another one. She was like, it looks like a leg because of the way it was carved, like a foot.
It was,
and it had been there. And then what happened? We investigated it, and we came up with all that stuff.
Oh,
we didn't know what it was.
It was. That was a very unique piece.
But that was like the best she had in that little tiny case. I was like, we're coming in and we're investigating all this. And the very first contact we had with Madeline, I'll never forget, was Tanya doing an EVP session. Yeah. And she said, Mama. And it was clear as day.
Yeah. That was crazy. And then poor Donna, she calls us because she was at the old Creeper Gallery, and because people would touch Madeline's toys and things would happen. Donna would come back in and things would be smashed and broken that made no sense. And she came in and she put all of Madeline's stuff behind a plexiglass underneath this table. And she had to move that table. She touched Madeline's toys, and the thing came down and crushed her thumb. It was really bad.
Oh, that was another thing too from the curse box. How she had that cross scar on her neck.
It was like it was burned onto her neck.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, she had the mark of a cross burned in her neck.
Smashed. I was like, that was part of the.
Donna's had some repercussions for some of the things that she's collected.
I wish I could have access to my phone because Donna has a medium that she works with, and they did a cold reading on the monkey, and hey Roger, and she sent it to me, and it was close to being pretty spot on about. I mean, I don't agree with like trickster part of it, not the other. I think that thing is bad, but maybe that was just me. But the reading was pretty good. I should put that up one day and show everyone.
You know what's funny? The curse box that left an indentation, like Donna had. I don't know if we have it on video or whatever, but Donna had a mark on her neck, like a cross was burned into her neck. It was really bizarre. And then the death said it happened, and Donna's dog and Teddy and her business partner's mother passed away, dropped out, and it was so much involved with this curse box. And when the curse box was touched unknown to Donna, same thing happened again to her poor dog right on the dot.
That I did an EVP session that I shouldn't have done. That's what happened.
You took it out.
My daughter wanted to go with my son-in-law and my son to the Creeper Gallery, and I had the keys, and Donna was like, yeah, fine, you can go there. And, they want to see. And so they were like, can we do something? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, what's like the bad things here? So,
they picked
that one there's really bad, and we really shouldn't. And we did. And again, unbeknownst to me that
at that very moment,
7 o'clock.
Teddy collapsed just like he did the first time the box was open.
But one of the funny things that I was kind of laughing about that wasn't like, ha funny, was we filmed something with the box and some other items for these people. And you would think we were in a room full of radiation and like nuclear chemicals and stuff. They left the cameras inside with us, and they they're robotic. They can control the cameras.
They wouldn't be in with us. I didn't want to be in there either, to be honest with you.
Because they heard the story about the box and they knew they wanted us to investigate it. So we did it, and we thought they were going to stand in there because we did 2 other objects, and they were literally like
right there doing that. They said, no, we're doing all this remote.
We put that box down, and we're like, hey, what are we And they're like, when we say go, just go. That was hilarious.
Wow.
But it did. It acted up during that session too.
Do you know what's funny about that? The curse box is back there, which bad stuff to it.
Yeah.
That book that's back there, that's definitely really bad.
Which I'll never investigate, even though she wants me to. I'll probably
that thing is really beyond.
I won't go near that one.
And yet, you don't mind going into that building with those things in there, but you will not go in there if the monkey's there.
The monkeys tried to kill me. Those things didn't try to kill me.
So what if that monkey shows up into the red room?
Then I don't know what. I'll have to move it somewhere. I don't know. Or you'll have to move it.
I ain't touching that dang thing.
There is still a doll there that I had that issue with initially. She didn't try to hurt me, but she was doing weird things to me when I was there. And that doll now was in the deemed dangerous room in the left-hand corner. Yeah. But for a while there, when I would come in, I would take that doll and put it in the bathroom.
Oh, did you really?
And I'm like, I am probably pissing off this spirit even more.
Wow.
Because I would get there and I'd look at it and I would just focus on it. And I would feel like it was focused on me. So I grab it and I put it in the bathroom.
And that's something that just an innate object can affect you
doll,
like that.
I open up the door and there would be. Hey man, that's real. I don't know. Even I'm not that dumb to mess.
You know what movie messed with my head as a kid? What's that one with the ventriloquist and it would come, the mannequin thing would come alive? Do you remember that?
No. I think I know what you're talking about. It would
sit in the chair and it would come alive and it would move and it would like, oh no. I
think I kind of remember. I don't know if I saw it, but I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, no, that one messed with my head, man.
Yeah, mannequins are creepy. We've only done one, I think. I think we've only investigated one all this time.
Two.
No, I thought it was one.
Well, no, maybe the other one's a paper mache one.
Yeah.
And the other one is the one that survived from the fire.
I wouldn't have a mannequin in my house. No way. No way.
Did anyone buy the garden gnome? Oh yeah, that thing's gone.
Movie is magic. Yeah, I thought it was magic.
Thank you, Heather.
What's his name in that? What's his name? Hannibal Lecter. He wasn't
Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's an old movie. I know that.
No, for those of you who haven't been around long enough to have gone back and watch all the Creeper Gallery investigations, I encourage you. They're not on Facebook, but they're on YouTube. I mean, you literally can go back 7 years and watch when we started doing things there. And the Guarded Gnome is probably one of the funniest, craziest,
and
naughtiest investigations we've ever did.
Don't watch it with your children.
Yeah, that's just where we got into. Again, you learn as you go. You trial and error, things happen. We were learning as we started doing this that curses would come out, horrible things would be said. So we had to learn how to filter ourselves.
Yeah.
Because at the time it was also new to us and it was all happening in real time. So there was a lot of F's and S's and we had to learn how to adapt to doing radio, PG it, even if you're feeling, even now and then. I don't really drop the F-bomb. I don't think ever. I mean, I don't
do
really,
the S word.
Holy S is my,
yeah,
that's as far as I go. If I'm saying holy S, that's me saying the best curse that I can say.
I'm the worst with the F word. When I get scared, there's no filter.
But that one was a Guarded Gnome. You want to hear a story. Again, for those of you who haven't been around that long with us, it was a Guarded Gnome that was on the lawn of a person who was just released from jail he was a
child molester.
Yeah, child molester, pedophile, whatever. And the cops were coming to get him because he violated the parole or whatever. And for whatever reason, he locked himself in the house and he set off a bunch of fireworks in the house. And
yeah,
the
he
house,
hunkered down in there.
and the house caught fire, and outside the house was a garden gnome that was half melted. It looked really creepy, but it was on the property. And the rumor was that he was attached to the garden gnome. It was outside of his house. And we're investigating this thing, and we're trying to connect with whatever his name, Fisher, something Fisher.
Yeah.
Something Fisher. And we're mapping a figure, and what we're seeing, we're trying to convey it to you guys live without showing.
I wasn't there for that.
Tanya and Kenny were there with me. So we're trying to convey what we're seeing on the SLS screen. And it was a person manipulating himself. And we're just like, he's we're like laughing because it literally is on the screen what the figure is doing, and we're just like laughing and like Curtis Fisher, and that was definitely one to remember. Funny.
Tess the Ouija board, the painting on the back. That one, I'm never going to forget that because
you can see the screen.
Yeah, but we had to be careful what we said. That one was a real eye opener with you. How quickly rage and anger took you over, and it was like that was, and everybody saw it. Yeah, everybody saw the change in you.
Yeah, that was different.
Good for you.
I miss the old building. I didn't think I would, but I do. I mean, I like the new building. I like the layout of the new building. We have way more room to do what we need to do. Because in the old building, we were crammed into just a little hallway, if you wouldn't even call it that. It wasn't a quarter of a hallway.
No.
And we would have to make do in this little area where we'd sit at one corner and everything was around us, you know. But I miss the old building. The old building.
Do you know what we need to do?
No.
We haven't done it in warmer weather, not now, and when I'm capable of going with you. Remote EVP again.
Can't do it there.
On a night when it's quiet, it's something I would like to do again. I thought those when we're out of the building completely and you're asking them questions remotely from, I would like to do that again.
I would too, but there is.
Well, obviously they're nights you
can't do it. The other building, we were worried about traffic and cars and people, so we could stay outside and look at it and time it. That building, you can't do that with what's going on up there.
We've got to find a night where it maybe it'll work and keep that in our back pocket because I'd really like to try that again. I'd really like to see how we've never done it in this building.
But that's how the whole haunted object thing started, really. It was an idea for the cable access show.
Yeah.
And
look where we are now.
It went from there, and again, I've been hooked ever since. And it's when you're around people and you do it for the first time and they're not used to it, like Cody Satori, first time was I think at the Hoover or whatever, when I actually worked with the objects in front of them, and they were like, even they were like, whoa, holy crap, there's an EVP that just came out of that thing there. And and they were and John, you heard him, he never wanted to bring his objects out. He never did that to actually work with them. And I think was still like, don't you think they have anything to say? Like any of them? You go into a building wanting the spirits to speak and interact. Why is it any different with an object?
Well, look what happened with Oscar.
Oscar was
a surprise.
Even for him. And here's a guy who's seen it all.
Yeah.
And done it all.
Laura said she'd love to see the video again of the investigation of the basement at the Old Creeper Gallery.
One of my dumber.
Listen, that place, you would be in doing something and you were like, or we'd be setting up or we'd be in the middle of doing an investigation and there'd be that curtain that would drop down between out there in her art area and the haunted object. And you would hear someone walking on the floor and coming right up to the curtain. I mean, that place was
that
creepy.
Basement was designed for a horror movie.
Oh,
it really was, because there was a tunnel that was sealed
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Underground Railroad or not, but there was a tunnel, or maybe there were tunnels under New Hope. Who knows? But that is creepy. You could tell that's really, really old. And then if you go to the other side of the basement, there's these weird photos of kids.
Children.
And almost like Blair Witch, just like taped to like this wooden old cabinet.
And all I got to say, if anybody kept their kids down there and they made them stay down there, that was like a dark, like really, that's not a place you want to stay. The vibe down there, and it did. You felt it when you go down there. It changed down there. There was a whole different dark vibe going down there.
That was one of those.
I'd have never gone down there.
That's one of those. You know, when people are watching, you feel like you have company and you're safe. But once as you're setting up and you're breaking down, it's a whole different animal.
You know you're alone and there's nobody there.
And I was setting everything up down there, and you know there's only that one plug-in light, that little flat light on the floor. I'm trying to navigate by that light alone, and it doesn't really shine.
No, it
doesn't add a lot of
dark
light
right over it over there.
To the other side, it doesn't add much light by the tunnel and stuff. And man, when all that stuff started happening, I'm like, you fool, you are here by yourself.
And you know what's strange? I can remember it so clearly when we came down, and when you would go to the left, they were the big, I don't know if they were the heating units that were there, the furnaces, and they were squared. And that's when, and we didn't think we were going to be able to do anything because of they were so massive, but yet with the room and all the stuff down the other end. And that's where I mapped a stick figure following us and popping in and out from behind those areas.
I remember that.
And when as soon as we come over, it'd go. Would leave, hold it, it would come, and you would see it like something sneaking. It would crouch down and it would move from one unit to the next and come around. You know that pole in the middle? It was, and that when I told them all, you guys got to check this out. There's something that's following us down here.
It wasn't even fall. It was like peeking out too.
Yeah, it was just. It followed us a few times weird. Too. It came around.
But the way it peeked out from behind the
unit was creepy.
Was something I'd never.
You just felt like it was. It was like this real. You just had the vibe that something bad happened down there. Oh, Celine, I hope you're feeling better too.
But it's funny again to see how it all started and all the years ago that we were doing it, you know, and not really thinking much of it, just kind of going in there and learning as we went how to handle different things and different objects and how to not cross certain lines with certain objects from different time periods. And, you know.
How about the fact that certain pieces can affect each one of us differently?
Okay.
You never got affected by the sensors like I did. Right. You got affected by I never even touched that Ouija board, so we were going to make darn sure that weren't going to happen. But there's been different things that have affected you physically that hasn't done anything to me. There are times that I remember that when I kept smelling or that I coughing like I couldn't breathe, and you were fine. And like this is what I'm saying, that certain things will affect. Like you could have a few individuals in there, but yet it affects a certain person a certain way, and maybe the rest don't get affected by it. Or smells.
I don't know if you watched the Aura show that we did.
The who?
Aura.
Oh, your Aura.
My Aura was, again, like godlike all around.
I'm pretty sure that's not the comment that was made.
That's why it's.
Because I was sitting there when she was doing your analyzing you on your Aura.
Well, she lied. She told me. She's like,
don't tell
I said,
Chris.
How is her? She's like, I'll make sure she feels good, but not close to what you got going on there. True. That was interesting too.
It was amazing what she did.
I'd like to do that again. I would do that again. That's why
I don't think she does it anymore.
No, not her, but there are other people that do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'd like to do that again. It's like I said, I'll try pretty much anything if.
What's that one that we walked into down over in Somerville, where that down over by the restaurant that we go to eat every once in a blue moon. And what the heck's the name of that dang place over there? Where you get your brownie that you love?
I don't know where you're going with this. So
the guy that took pictures, he was closed. There was like this little crystal shop and everything, and then you had in where there was a curtain and it's aura pit, and we saw people's pictures with color, but it were Polaroid pictures and they had auras. You don't remember that?
One was
and they
nowhere
weren't there.
near the other. You really are slipping, man.
No, I'm not. I'm going to show it to you.
It was not. It was. I know exactly where you're talking about.
Where?
It wasn't there.
Where was it?
I'm not going to say where it was, but it wasn't there.
Oh, so he's not going to come with the receipts. Where?
I'm not going to mention it.
Why?
For my own personal reasons.
I know where it was.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You said it was in Somerville a minute ago.
The restaurant, you walk around, you go down. There's all of those little shop things down over there. It was over there. Could have sworn it was right there. Oh no, you're right.
Oh my!
It was
goodness.
in the other town. I know what you're talking about.
It really is.
I was wrong.
It really is getting tough, people.
It's
getting tough.
It really irks me that I have to say I'm
I
wrong.
told her yesterday I was going to drop her off at the home.
He did.
I did. And I told her that.
All because
I literally was going to just pull up and leave a note on her. I wasn't even going to go inside. I was going to leave a note on her and just pull away.
Because I had my arm tied down because it's fractured. And this guy here is like, you need to go to the old home.
No, I told you to call the doctor 1,000 times.
They can't fix.
And what does she do? She ties a rope around her body, keeping her arm next to her side. So this is why I said, you call the doctor? I'm calling tomorrow. I said, oh, it's 2:00. Why tomorrow? Oh, did she call him yet?
No, you can't fix a fracture.
Whatever. You have no idea what it is. So
there's either one thing.
Anyway, so
we
got to the point where she, I'm helping her. We have a thing that she puts over her arm, that like a brace thing. I'm helping her put that on. We get to the point where I'm brushing her hair, which I'm the youngest in my family. I'm not guys don't brush each other's hair. Sisters do that. So I brush her hair the best I can. She has very long hair, and I don't want to hurt her, so I'm trying to do the best I can. I think I did it okay job. Then when she come with me, do you know how to braid hair? I'm like, braid hair? Like, what the hell makes you think that I know how to braid hair? And is she like it's simple. One piece, 2-piece, 3-piece. She's got them in between her fingers, and she goes, hold that piece there, and then I'm like, I am not doing that. And I actually tried it, and I find myself just like doing this, and I'm like, you're on your own, man. I'm like, I have no idea how to do this.
I wish I could have filmed it.
You don't know guys my age that know how to braid
there
hair.
Are men that brush their wives' hair and
braid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. Few and far in between. But I'm like, I am not braiding hair. It just sounds way too. Even my hair, when my hair gets long, I have it in a bow, bubble, whatever ponytail. I that's what I do with it. I get one of those things. I wrap it up a few times, ponytail. That's it. I ain't braiding nothing.
I have to braid.
She really thought that I was. She goes, "Did you ever braid hair before?" And I'm like, "You've known me for more than half of my life. What makes you think that I can braid hair?" Honestly.
And this old dog ain't gonna learn nothing. And he don't want to learn.
Did you know the answer to that question before you asked me?
What?
Did I know how to braid hair?
You had a daughter. You might have braided her hair when she was younger.
Come on.
Why do you mean, come on?
Dads don't do that.
That's not true. That's not true. There's a lot of dads out there that braid their
not
daughter's
that
hair.
then. In the old school, they didn't.
Nah.
Trust me.
Nah.
Yeah, girls have way more practice to get there. Remember, they had the old-fashioned Barbie heads.
Oh, I hated those things. I never.
But they were all practicing for curling the hair.
I was playing with little remote cars and stuff. I wasn't doing that stuff.
Braid my hair, and she tries to explain it like it's a 10-second thing. She showed me. Take 1 piece, 2-piece, 3-piece. 2 pieces would have been hard enough, but now there's a third. Stick the first piece between your fingers, and then the other, and then take it. I'm like,
he
I'm like,
looked,
this is
honestly,
not happening.
He acted like I asked him to do surgery on me. He
no
really
way.
did. It was the most hysterical freaking thing in the world.
I'd have rather done a Princess Leia.
And if John doesn't want to learn something, John is the absolute worst student that there is. He'll do everything to make sure that he's not
put a hat on.
He'll look at you, he'll turn his head, but he definitely will not pay attention.
Put a hat on, put a hairnet on.
There you go.
I ain't braiding. No, can't.
Hey, Don, I hope you're having a good time at the concert.
Can't do it. Won't do it.
I know you
Sorry.
won't. I know.
I'll shave your head first. But
like I did. I spent.
You look like Egg from Egg and Dunk.
A good half hour in that bathroom trying to brush my hair with my right arm, and I mean my left arm, and I just could not. I was so frustrated, and I wanted to throw the brush. You did a great job brushing my hair. Yeah. You're gonna have to do it for a while.
But she comes out again. The whole arm thing. Call the doctor. Call the doctor. Oh, I know what's wrong with me. I know how many times I've heard that. Over
even the doctor
even
said
with the pneumonia and everything. No, you get better. Okay, no, I know what's wrong with me. I'm getting better. So one day she comes out and literally it was a rope tied around her body.
It was your rope
and I'm like,
sash.
What are we on, Survivor? She likes that dumb show. I never watched Survivor, but she got a rope. I'm like, we're not on some island where you found it on the beach. There's other things you could probably buy to do that better than some rope.
And the thing that they have, it doesn't lock it down. You have to have your arm locked.
Whatever. If you were to go to an orthopedic doctor or something, I'm sure. But my mom had a device on her shoulder that was plastic and strapped in.
So what John, I keep explaining to John, I did go to the doctors. That's how I found out that I definitively did that.
Doctor never took an x-ray. There's no proof of a fracture.
You don't have to take an x-ray on it.
Yeah, okay.
So
there's guessing and there's knowing.
It's fracture.
There's guessing
but here's the thing. There's only two things that you could do for it.
If it were a proven fracture.
Hold on. It needs to stay stabilized for at least 6 weeks to hopefully let it heal. If it's a bad fracture, then you have to have surgery.
But you don't know for sure.
I can take friggin' pain, and this thing is friggin' killing me.
Okay. Which means it could be something else besides a fracture.
Definitely. It's a fracture.
Well, gotcha. It's a fracture, all right.
It's from the fall.
It's here.
I don't know, fracture.
That's where the fracture is. But this is what I deal with, people. And then again, I do my best. And once we get to braiding, she goes into the home. That's it. That's where I draw the line. I told her.
You're the one that can't survive. I'll survive.
I literally had, let's see, the wedding was in June, July, August.
I did 2 events and you didn't even know I had this issue.
December, January, February. 8 months. 8 months. There's got to be a lemon law for 8 months. I'm calling Chip. I'm calling Chip and see if we can do something about that.
Braiding hair, but he is unproven, believe.
I believe my husband could follow instructions on.
I fractured my arm in a fall in December, and it's getting worse because I didn't stabilize it. And I went to the doctors, and she also feels that I fractured it as well. Can't get John to understand that. He just thinks that there could be something worse with it, or
normal cases. If there's a fracture, because I've had fractures. My mom fractured her shoulder. They do a thing called an X-ray, because an X-ray will show even a micro fracture. An X-ray will show it. When was it? I must have missed the X-ray. Where she did that?
I didn't have an X-ray.
She did that in the office.
I did not do an X-ray.
So you don't know if it's fractured.
I turned it down because I wasn't going to spend money on something that we knew what it was.
Whatever. Anyway, so this is what we're dealing with. So we have.
I'm not a wuss.
We have. Well, but you're very limited to what you can do now.
Yeah, I am, unfortunately.
But if you'd seen the doctor, maybe that would be different. But
how would that be different? Because what, they have like this magic thing that makes that bone heal?
Luann, don't even offer alternative solutions, because Dr. Spock here knows.
Oh, it ain't arthritis pain. I know the difference between arthritis pain.
No, she 100%. Knows. Heather, she's diagnosed it. She's written the prescription for a rope. So she's good. She's going to be fine. So.
She's so.
I don't even, like I said, at the home. I'll be dropping her off. I'll come visit. I mean, I've seen those guys when I went to visit.
That's all right. I'll get myself with you, man. You'll braid hair.
I'll sit with you and watch TV and watch you play bingo. And I'll go home.
I'll give you.
That's it.
Oh, Lord.
But anyway, yes. So we're going to have a hard time at these events trying to
Yeah.
navigate things because, you know, she's going to not be able to do what she normally does. So we're going to do the best we can, you know, to still keep things kind of normal until the fracture heals, whatever that is.
Use her hair instead of
No,
the
you're
rope.
right. You're right, Heather. I could braid the hair into a rope and then just wrap that around, braid my hair. I literally looked at her like
I said,
you might as well ask me to build an airplane because I don't know how to do that either. You know, I should be taking it. No, Luann. You know you're talking logic. Chris doesn't believe in
But
logic.
what John is not telling you,
Chris
I did go to the doctor because I had a
MD,
concussion.
No X-ray.
And we discussed
MD
it, and
no
she
X-ray.
laid out all the things, and she even concurs that in more than likely than anything else, it is a fracture.
MD.
I didn't want to do the X-ray because I just really don't have the money to go do that. Most people, and you keep talking over me because that's what you do.
Because that's what MDs
when you don't want to hear what I'm going to say.
MDs are for colds,
yay,
and stuff like that, not for broken bones and fractures.
I get that, John, but here's, like I said, there are only two ways to fix it. It's either going to have to be surgically fixed, or it needs to stay stabilized.
You're saying this.
You're not I said to Dr. Garcia, because I'm going back to see her again, that I'm going to stabilize it, keep it still, and if it gets better, then
so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
We know it's not.
So if you're having heart issues, and Dr. Garcia told you, it's probably nothing, probably just heartburn. If you get pain or whatever, just let it be. Take some Tums.
I wouldn't mess with that.
Why?
Because it's your heart.
But
you could die from that.
But aren't there specialists that handle that you would probably?
Oh, there's a specialist that's going to handle you.
Right?
Real good specialist. What?
Don't even bother.
Where did you fall? Here in the house. I fell in December. Hit my head. Don't bother, Luann. Had a concussion, and then the arm just. I fell again like 2 weeks later when you and I were out. Remember? When we were doing that walkthrough. And it was that night, and I didn't turn my flashlight on when we came out of that place, and I fell. You remember? I do remember because the circumstances surrounding it. I do have an arm stabilizer. I just took it off for it. It started to itch everywhere really bad, and it doesn't really. They say it all one size fits all. I'm just really small, and it's hard to get it to fit right. So it's like it causes like irritation. So you should look on Amazon. They might have something better. They might. So we it does. It stabilizes the whole arm, and it locks over across, and it works really good. So if you see future live streams where it's like with John Zaffis, it's split screen, and Chris looks like she's somewhere else, it'll be the home. You'll see. I love. You might see nurses walk by and stuff. Plumber, I'll be here. There you go. That's a jack of all trade, Deb. What did she say? Well, John thinks he knows everything. But again, he wasn't there when I had the discussion. So I'm good. So I have I had a problem with my ribs swelling and a growth on my ribs. And the doctor said, I don't know what that is. You know, I don't know what's causing that or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but there's something there. I could feel it. So what did I do that the doctor recommended? I got a ultrasound because I needed to know if there was a mass or a growth or if there was something there causing it. Because that's the next logical step in a medical process. I didn't get rope and tie it around the lump and say, this is going to 4 weeks, this lump gone. I actually wanted to diagnose and get better. That's kind of, but anyway, I feel, Deb, you see what I deal with. So it is what it is. You do. In the meantime, New Jersey Paranormal has to adapt and adjust. And again, we've got next weekend's event coming up. So probably going to have to get some help with that. And eventually. You do realize I did 3 events with this like this. Eventually, we just even know it. Phase her out and have some young person take over and more power.
away
More
we
power
go.
to you,
Just
love.
sort of put her in the
More
garage and,
power to you.
you know, put her on
The
blocks.
garage. Put 'em in the garage on blocks.
That's what we got to do. That's
Oh,
what we got to do.
that's a good one.
But anyway, hopefully the weather is going to get better.
It is. You said the other day
Yeah, it's
that's
going to
going to
get
be
warmer.
64.
And this crap is behind us because I'm so
Yeah,
tired
that'll
of
make
freaking
life
snow.
much better.
And I want to just get out and have decent nights when we're out there doing events, because if any of you came to that Burlington Prison event, man, whew, that was probably as cold as it gets, man.
I think that's the coldest.
Negative
No,
12,
that's not true.
Negative 15.
There's one thing we did that was even colder than that, and that's when we did that old 300-year-old farm, and Tanya had to keep her car running.
Yeah.
And we'd spend 20 minutes in the farmhouse investigating and running back out to her car because it was just too. We'd have frostbite on our hands. It was so cold, but it was fun.
But like I said, I'm trying not to fill in the gaps of the weekends that we're not doing anything, but we're doing a walkthrough on Wednesday that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah.
The story itself, I told you guys about. That's what we talked to John about when I brought up the subject of a building that had a really checkered past, and then people that lived there started suffering mental issues. And can the building cause those issues, or just coincidence? I get nervous with stuff like that. I really do, because, you know, bad luck things,
like it's going to have a lingering effect on you.
I always worry about opening myself up to things of that nature. And you wonder again, did the building cause that? Is there something in the building that caused that or influenced it? And again, these people had prolonged exposure to whatever was there. I'm not going to have that. But I do get nervous, and I get nervous about tapping into that energy and poking that energy, because then you're even going a step further. The people who live there are kind of like settled in amongst the energy. So it happens over time, I guess. But they're probably not openly engaging that energy either and saying, no, Deb. No, David Stewart Farm, I would never go back there. But that they if you're now seeking it out and engaging it and not provoking it, but letting it know that they're there and what they've done, you run the risk of that attach effect to let you know that, or
if it's a generational curse.
Was really like, again, I don't know if this is true or not, but everyone knows that I watch Ghost Adventures, love that show. Zach did that documentary Demon House, and about all those people getting affected in that house, how they supposedly saw the kid climb the wall. The girl actually did commit suicide that lived there, unalived herself. Other things happened to the production crew. They got sick. And at the end of the documentary, Zach tore the house down. Now, one part of your brain goes, well, he may have tore it down because he didn't want anybody going in there and debunking whatever they did for the documentary. The other part of your brain says, well, he tore it down so that no one else would be affected, potentially, and it wouldn't harm anybody else. And again, that's kind of in the back of my brain when it comes to certain building and certain objects. That's why the monkey, you have to live it. You have to live it. You can't just stay immersed. And once it does affect you that way, you really can't re-engage, because it's proven that it broke through the barriers that affected you.
That right.
And now
you're not going to.
They know that.
Now it knows the end.
You know that, and now you're going in there kind of like.
Now you're getting it. So
that house kind of intrigues me and makes me a little nervous going in there for the first time and judging what that. I'll during the walkthrough, I'll try to. I'm not a medium, but I'll see how I feel walking through. But I am curious the first time we really sit and say, hey, we heard these stories. We know what happened here. Did you have any effect on that? Did you do that? And did you do it on purpose? And if depending on those responses, is the difference between whether we do events there and bring people in or not. Because again, you don't really want to, huh?
Yeah, the farm where we were, it's a 300-year-old farm, had no electric. It didn't have anything. It was just, it had been there for 300 years through generational thing. And there was reported that the wife might have murdered her husband out in their fields and in the crops, and she died in the house, and they had us come in and do it privately. There wasn't a public or anything.
They didn't want anybody to know.
Yeah, and they
was going on
still
there.
to this day keep it on the hush.
They can't rent it. They can't do anything to
No.
it because of the spirit.
They used to have their caretakers that come and stayed, and the caretakers, they couldn't keep
That
the
would be a horror
caretakers
movie.
to stay. They'd come with big families. The place is gigantic, and they'd all end up downstairs in this living room, and they'd be out of there. They couldn't keep anybody in there.
No, we went to David Stewart Farm one time,
Yeah,
and
that was enough.
it was the time of the year. It had just rained, so all the grass outside was soaked, and we were kind of limited to the barn. And
The mosquitoes were
yeah, it
Jurassic
really wasn't a good experience for us. I mean, if others have gone and had good experiences, it's just the night we were there
Just didn't work out.
Really didn't work out at all for us. So I wouldn't go back there, you know.
No.
But again, other people have claimed to have gone there and
Yeah, they love
had good
it.
experiences. So just doing anything that involves outdoors really doesn't. Well, here's a funny story for you. There was one building. It's been condemned. I won't say what the building was. Great story. People died in the building. It had structural issues when we went inside of it initially.
Oh yeah.
But the stories were so great. The documented deaths were there. The basement was creepy as hell. We actually caught an anomaly. This thing wasn't your run-of-the-mill orb flying around dust crap. This was somebody sitting at the old piano and playing it, and this anomaly came from the side, hovered over the person's head, went down to the piano as if it were near the keys, went sideways like this, real slow, up towards their face, and then drifted out in another direction. Dust doesn't do that. A bug would never go that slow and just drop down. This was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And one of the other cool things that we saw during this investigation, this is when we would have cameras everywhere. We wouldn't just film each other. We would have IR cameras in all different parts covering the building and then review them at some point. This IR camera's in the basement. I never had seen a cave cricket in my life. I didn't know that they were like praying mantis, like size bugs. So here's my IR camera, and all of a sudden, this thing climbs on it. It looked like a Godzilla movie, and it's looking at it, and it's doing this, and I'm like, "What the freak is this thing?" And I saw them when I retrieved my camera. That I knew they were down there, but I didn't see what they looked like. But that house was really cool. Supposedly there was activity in the garden behind the house, but very first time we went out to tour that, there was a lump of bear crap that big, literally 4 feet from the backyard, the back door leading to the garden. And this person's like, "Oh, so many people have experienced stuff in the garden." I said, "I'm not bringing people back there."
Now when you got it, that's fresh. That's fresh. That just, even I don't mess with
and
that.
she's like, "Oh, they're more afraid of you." I said, "I am not going back there.
No.
I'm not bringing anybody back there."
In the dark, no less.
Way.
No.
But that building wound up after a couple of bad storms, just structurally, just ruined. But
we were very fortunate.
Great
to get
stories. In there. Yeah, great
very
stories.
And an old Dutch house.
That anomaly was like nothing I'd ever seen. I've never seen an orb, spirit energy act like that ever. And I'm watching it. I'm like, look at this thing come from the side. It came from one angle, literally hovered above the person while they were playing piano, and then came down real slow, almost looked like a spider. But the way it came was from the side and then down right towards the keys, and then went over a little bit as if it were, and then right up to her face, hovered there, and then slowly just crossed, stopped, and then continued on out of the frame. It was like, wow.
And the same historical place had another house that we used to do. And I'll never forget when we were down in that basement of that house, and all four of us were down there. And then when we reviewed that camera, you saw a shadow walk by the door that was above and the light, and then the door opened and closed.
Yeah.
Remember that when
was
we
a
saw it in the video?
Quick shadow figure. I had to slow
That
it down.
was so like, are we kidding? And again, ruled out everything because we were all together. So we knew, and there was nobody there. It was just us four.
Well, that's
it
when
was
Tanya
insane.
and I heard the footsteps in the room.
Yeah.
Right behind us. We're in the room,
Yes.
and her and I are talking, and Tanya had super hearing. So she's like, shh, shh. And I'm like, shh, pointing. And I'm like, don't, next to us. And we heard stuff moving, and we're like,
we were upstairs.
Where's Chris and Kenny? Are they in that room? And we came out, we looked in the room, and we yelled down the stairs, where are you guys? And they're like, we're down here. We're like, did you come up here?
Batteries and equipment.
And they're like, no, we never came up there. We had it all on camera. Really cool.
No,
really cool.
That was really cool. That was.
Anyway.
Oh, what about that? Was the same place we found the $5 on the step, and we got a recording that said, what's that? What you say? Losers, weepers, finders, keepers. A voice actually said that statement, because I found a $5 bill on the stairs that turned out to be Tanya. She had dropped out of her pocket, and we did an EVP at the top of the stairs, and it said "losers, weepers."
Did it?
Yep.
I thought it said like, "This is mine."
No, losers, weepers. We were laughing. Tanya and I were just like, "Can you believe that crap?"
Well, anyway, tomorrow night I am going to go to the Creeper Gallery. Check the weather. I don't think it's going to rain or anything, but probably start usual 7:30. I'm hoping I think there's at least 2 new objects that I could work with, and hopefully there's some good stuff there, some good stories, because I'm in the mood for a little go around. I won't be grabbing any, what do they call them again? Folly mirrors. Will be no folly mirrors tomorrow. I just hope there is parking on the street, because if I got to park up top and walk down that area again, if you've ever gone to the Creeper Gallery, the new one, South Main Street, 129, there's parking on Main Street, but there's restaurants and a bunch of shops, and sometimes at night it's kind of crowded, or with the snow, so you were with me the one time where we had to park up top in the main lot and walk down. But there was another time. Oh no, I was with you. We walked down there and I forgot something. Now you have to go. You park at the top lot. You go down these steps that's behind this building, and you come down into Main Street, and then you go up the steps into the Creeper Gallery. So her and I went, and I'm like, shoot, I forgot whatever I forgot. And right away, do you want me to get it? I'm like, it's pitch black at night. You got to walk up those stairs, over a bridge, and into an empty parking lot. Yeah. Why don't you go get that? So I'm like, I'll be right back. So I leave, and I get up the steps, and there's a guy at the top. And I'm looking like, again, it's whatever time at night. It's dark out. It's cold. I'm like, what's he doing up? I'm sure he was thinking the same thing about me. So he's walking kind of slow because there's still snow there. So I'm up there, and I'm not far behind him. And he kind of stopped by the bridge, and then he went over. And now I'm kind of like trying to keep my distance. But the whole time I'm thinking, like, again, I watch all these 48 hours and stuff, and I'm like,
he was waiting for you.
I'm like, hey, I'm thinking again, thank God it wasn't you going and that guy out there, because who knows. But I'm like thinking, and eventually he crossed the bridge, lit up a cigarette, and he went to his car. But the whole time I'm just like, I just wanted to go up there and get something from the car. It was
cold too, so why
is
there
got to be
lingering
some
out
guy,
there?
a random strange guy out there, like on the steps where no one is behind buildings in the snow, Like, my luck. But anyway, I'll be there tomorrow. Hopefully there's parking. Start at 7:30-ish. So see you guys tomorrow. Live from the Creeper Gallery. Should be fun. Who knows? Hopefully there's some good stuff. There won't be any wallpaper with blood matter on it.
No.
I'm sure there'll be other fun stuff.
Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. And please be kind to each other. Good night, everybody.
Remember, Chris is doing medical consultations. So if you want to FaceTime with her and tell her about your injury, she'll tell you exactly how to
medical
handle it.
advice.
There you go. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.